Our relatively smooth ride through winter is coming to an end at an important time. A lot of people are out finishing up their holiday shopping. Many, many more will be traveling in the coming days. Yesterday it was snowfall, and tonight we're getting a taste of chills to come. Let's throw it over to Robert Hahn right away to clue you in on what you need to prepare for. Robert?
Yeah, it's a cold one out there. If you are heading out and about, make sure you're dressing in many layers. A live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Mainly clear skies. We're looking over towards Moorhead, some fog trying to develop, and you may see some brief fog over portions of the area as we head through the evening hours. Overnight tonight, we'll see the temperatures right now very cold, actually start to slowly warm towards tomorrow morning. It's -7 here in Fargo. Feels like -21 with winds out of the south now at 7, but look at Moorhead, -15 degrees elsewhere across the region. -9 in Devils Lake, -9 in Valley City, 10 below up in Badette, -9 in the Thief River Falls area. You add in those winds, and again, they're starting to turn to the south. That's going to help us slowly warm towards tomorrow morning. Clouds moving in will also assist in helping us slowly warm into the morning hours, but right now it's creating some very cold wind chills. As cold as 26 below in Valley City, -25 in Grand Forks, 26 below in Thief River Falls, -21 up in Roseau. Here come the clouds, as mentioned, and they'll continue to slide to the southeast as we head through the overnight hours, and starting to see a little bit of flurry activity with that, and we'll see a chance for snow showers making their way across the region as we head through tomorrow and into tomorrow afternoon. There they are, beginning to blossom over southern portions of Canada. They'll continue to slide off towards the southeast into the area. Some steadier snows off towards the south, so if you're heading that direction over towards Rochester, Des Moines getting some snow. Omaha has seen some ice and now seeing some snow. Sioux Falls got several inches of snow today, so some slick conditions as you head off towards the south. Overnight tonight, very cold temperatures, but they start going the other direction as we head towards tomorrow morning, and here come the snow showers. Before I get to that, this is the area that saw the heaviest snow as we went through last night and yesterday afternoon, and this area may stay well below zero where we've got that deep snowpack, 6, 7, 8, even 9 inches of snow. This area may stay well below zero even into tomorrow morning. Now, as we head through the rest of the morning into the afternoon, that chance for some snow showers out there. They'll continue to slide off towards the east. Southerly winds early on shift to the northwest behind the front, sparking off the snow showers and slowly decreasing clouds as we head through the late evening hours. Behind that, beginning on Christmas, this is Monday, these are temperatures below zero in the pinks and purples there. And watch what happens as we go through the rest of the week. We stay pretty much below zero for the entire week, so a very cold week ahead as we head through Christmas and beyond. Here in Fargo, we'll start off the day around zero. Temperatures slowly warming on up into the upper teens by lunchtime, and later on in the day, we'll stay in the upper teens after topping out into the low 20s, and we'll have that chance for a few flakes of snow throughout the day. Picture of the day, it's a sundog at sunrise. This in the War Road area. There's one of the sundogs, and there's the other one, the pillar of sunshine right in the middle. Thanks to David for sending that in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast, and snow showers tomorrow, colder, quiet, and Saturday. A few more flakes possible on Sunday, and then here comes the Arctic air. It's going to be dangerously cold, and it may actually even be colder than this. We'll continue to update that, so take care as you head out and about. Make sure you got the emergency kit in the cars before you head out and about, and make sure the CO detectors are also in good working order as you crank up the heat over the next week or so.
All good advice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You got it.
Despite the recent drop in temperatures, experts are still warning people about the dangers of heading out on the ice. There have already been 5 deaths from falling through the ice in Minnesota. That's greater than the past 2 seasons combined, and we're only in December. Officials say it has to do with the winter starting out cold in early November and then pivoting to warmer weather. And the recent snow might further complicate things.
With that recent snow cover, it's covering up a lot of the imperfections. We just want to make sure that people are prepared, whether that means carrying ice picks with you, checking your ice conditions every so often as you're moving around on the ice. Maybe even take a life jacket with you in case you were to go through.
Seefeld adds that snow also insulates the ice, prolonging the time it takes to freeze. An Otter Tail County man beat the odds. He survived falling through thin ice on Walker Lake after he spent nearly an hour in the freezing water. Kent Erdahl has his amazing story.
heading out to those fish houses over there.
Look across the lake and you can still see what they were thinking.
We thought everything was safe because there's full-size pickups out there. And
Bob Hovland knows.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to explain what happened next.
I just look ahead and I see him, the ice breaking away and the snowmobile going through.
I started trying to get up on the ice and it kept breaking and breaking and breaking. And I started getting really tired and my legs didn't want to work right.
At first, his family thought they could rescue him from just offshore.
I tried getting out as far as I could to throw the rope we had, and I ended up going through.
Well, I didn't get out there very far, and I fell through.
And I tried swimming and breaking ice to him, because at that point, it was almost a half hour he was in the water.
Nothing was working.
All we could hear is, "You guys need to hurry. I'm not going to make it."
That's about the time the Otter Tail Fire Department heard the call.
Our initial page was just a man in the water. We pulled in and the ambulance told us the guy is still in the water, and we just took off in a sprint.
It's hard to describe the feeling.
The feeling of being rescued after nearly an hour submerged in the water.
What could have happened? That's what I keep thinking about. What could have happened?
Once he got to the emergency room, Don's wife says she learned his body temperature had fallen below 80 degrees.
He was just shaking uncontrollably.
Christy Hovland still can't believe it.
And I just hugged him and kissed him and very thankful that he made it.
You can't let emotions override you. That's what after the call is for.
That's what times like this are for.
Thank you.
I have my husband because of you guys.
I can't explain how I feel right now, so.
So, he'll leave you with this.
I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else.
In Otter Tail, Kent Erdoff.
Just check the ice all the time.
KARE 11 News.
Scary stuff. Don's doctor calls his case miraculous. Despite all he went through, he suffered no organ failure. Just days later, only had some numbness in his hands. Yesterday, the snow fell, and today, with slippery conditions, it was harder to suddenly stop short and avoid the car in front of you. Fargo police have been called to dozens of crashes in the last 48 hours and say it's important to be a defensive driver, especially through these treacherous conditions.
Anticipate those who aren't able to stop because they're driving too fast or not paying attention. So look ahead at those intersections at red lights and stop signs and notice, there's a car coming over to my right or my left. Do they look like they're slowing down in time? And if they're not, where am I going to go?
The Department of Transportation also advises to slow down even under the speed limit in order to avoid those rear-end crashes or skidding through a red light. And as you hit the road for your holiday destinations, be extra cautious in order to get there safely. Last night, a North Dakota Highway Patrol car was hit while the trooper was performing a traffic stop in West Fargo. The trooper was not hurt. The driver of the other vehicle was cited for reckless driving. Keep in mind there's a law mandating that you must move over when you see law enforcement on the side of the road. Drivers are to slow down, move over, and stay clear of all vehicles that have their lights flashing.
Winter travel itself is hazardous. We need to be cautious. Anytime you see emergency vehicle or first responders alongside the road, it's always good just to slow down a little bit.
The lieutenant adds that winter driving conditions and nighttime driving can increase the number of crashes. A West Fargo teen was hurt in a rollover on I-94 in Douglas County, Minnesota tonight. The Minnesota State Patrol is reporting that 19-year-old Tyler Peterson was heading west when he went off the road and rolled his van. Peterson suffered what troopers say were non-life-threatening injuries. An Illinois man convicted on sex trafficking charges in the Fargo-Moorhead area, including trafficking of a child, will spend 40 years in prison. After that, 30-year-old Anthony Collier will be on supervised release for life. He was found guilty in April of trafficking 5 victims from 2015 through 2016 between Minnesota and North Dakota. His case was moved to federal court in Fargo after originating in Minnesota, where Collier once faced 15 sex trafficking charges in Clay County District Court. Some residents of the Fargo high-rise apartment complex call their bedbug situation deplorable. One person contacted our whistleblower hotline to say that conditions became so bad that the mail carrier wouldn't deliver mail for days. Officials admit that the apartments have been dealing with bedbugs for a long time. An official with the Fargo Housing Authority says they brought in an exterminator right away, and they didn't find any signs of the bugs.
We treat very aggressively. We do all of our common areas, laundry rooms, everything. the main floors every month. We treat 6 to 8 apartments every single week.
Elliott adds that it's more than just a high-rise problem, calling it a citywide issue. If you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline. The phone number's on your screen, 701-237-6576. Call that number and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case to go to work and expose the truth. Authorities are looking into the discovery of a body in a burning car outside of the Walmart parking lot in DL. The fire was called in early last night. When firefighters arrived, the car was engulfed in flames. They were able to put it out quickly. Devils Lake Police are leading the investigation along with the state fire marshal. A fire official declined to comment on whether the fire was accidental. No one else was hurt. Like to take a selfie? Some people are obsessed about them. Now, if that sounds like you, chances are that you're suffering from selfitis. Reporter Ashley Holcomb explains whether it's a mental health issue or just part of the social media age.
How often do you take a selfie?
Maybe 2 a week.
6 to 10 times a day.
Probably close to 50 to 100, I'd say.
A new study from the International Journal of Mental Health and Addiction says those who are selfie obsessed suffer from a mental disorder called selfitis.
I wouldn't say obsessed, but that's just something I do, I guess.
A study by Now Sourcing and Frames Direct says the average millennial will take 25,700 selfies in their lifetime. While this sounds like they are self-obsessed, millennials are actually using selfies as a form of communication.
Normally I don't post selfies, I just send them to friends.
But on the other side, Gen Xers are using social media at a high rate, just not taking as many selfies. Paula Erickson told me that she's never hopped on the selfie train.
Well, I have never taken a selfie.
Until now.
Okay, and I'll take it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
For the selfie craze, she believes they're just enjoying themselves.
I think sometimes they're just having a lot of fun.
In Fargo, Ashley Holcomb, Valley News Live.
Now, here are some ways to tell if you have selfie-itis. If taking a selfie puts you in a good mood, you feel more popular when you post selfies on social media, and you use photo editing tools to make your selfies look better than others. Do you think you have selfitis? We want to hear from you. Join in on the conversation. Just like Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.